Alt Funds Global presents Non-Recourse Loans Exposed, debunking broker myths and scams you need to know.
You're an entrepreneur, you're looking for $15 million, $20 million, $45 million of project funding. And your biggest challenge is that a lot of the banks you're walking into simply don't want to give you that loan. You're sick and tired of talking to investors. You don't seem to be able to find qualified investors. You find some kind of a joker broker who tells you that they can get you something called a non-recourse loan, money you don't have to pay back, using some kind of a fancy purchase and set of stamp matters or credit SBLCs. And you're like, what? My bank doesn't give you a non-recourse loan? How is that possible? In this video, I'm going to debunk a lot of the myths out there and tell you how you can get a limited recourse loan, something that's totally legit. You've got to watch this video.
All of the information presented is for entertainment and information purposes only. Nothing discussed constitutes legal or accounting advice, an offer or solicitation of financial services, or financial advice of any kind. Our goal is to showcase alternative vehicles to raise capital. At no point will we be soliciting any investment programs.
Hi, it's Taimour Zaman from Alt Funds Global. My organization helps accredited investors leverage their assets, their cash, seminars, and so on, to access capital the banks are primarily offering their VIP clients. We can do this because of volume of transactions we give to banks, because of our relationships with banks, and because of our experience and expertise in structured financing. Nothing that I offer in this video or any of my other videos should ever be considered as legal or financial advice. Also, a full disclaimer, I love copycats. All the people that go on Facebook and TikTok and social media and copy my face, but can't copy my dry sense of humor and pretend to be me and sell fraudulent transactions on things like WhatsApp and so on. All communication that's official from Alt Funds Global, should come from altfundsglobal.com. We do not have other domains like altfundsglobal.games, altfundsglobal.cnn or some nonsense like that. So friends, from time to time we get clients who looking for project financing, and they really struggle to get the capital they need at the time they need it quickly, and from usual banks. They go in, they talk to investors, they talk to banks, they talk to private equity, and they just struggle to get the amount of capital they need to grow their business in a timely manner or even a cost-effective manner. This type of population of entrepreneurs oftentimes look to the alternative funding industry and look for, hey, what are some other available options out there? Somewhere in their experience, they bump into what I refer to as a joker broker who's never a day of their life worked for real legitimate banks. And they have all the fancy terms like you're a structured financing specialist. But if you had a camera watching them, they're Uber driver or something like that. And the joker broker introduces the client to a term called non-recourse loan. And the idea is that some bank magically is going to give you $45 million or $55 million or $100 million, $150 million, and you don't have to pay it back. And they convince you that this bullshit is true. So first of all, I want to tell you the truth is that banks do give something called limited recourse loan, which joker brokers call non-recourse loan. I myself use the word non-recourse loan just because it's such a brilliant word that a bunch of joker brokers invent that actually communicates exactly what it is. I highly recommend if you ever go to a business party and you meet a bunch of bank CEOs, especially if the regulator is there or the Treasury Department is there, do not ever tell a bank CEO, I want to get a non-recourse loan. Just like, trust me, do not do that. The correct term for it is called limited recourse loan. And I want to give you the example when it does happen and when it does not happen. The first question a lot of entrepreneurs ask, are these types of loan real? And if they're real, why is my bank not offering that to me? Or why is that bank not offering it to other people? And I want to give you the background story so you understand these things and how they work and how they don't work, and when you can apply for them legally and how you can access them as well. When you and I deposit money with a retail bank, keywords retail bank, let's say you deposit $10,000 with a retail bank, you want immediate access to that money. When you and I deposit $10,000 with a retail bank, you and I want immediate access to that $10,000, yes? Meaning for living expenses, car expenses, insurance. If you have my daughter has a lot of high expenses. You want immediate access to that $10,000 and you want all the $10,000 immediately access to it. When you and I deposit money with that retail bank, I want you to consider that $10,000 that we are depositing is something called non-sticky money. The $10,000 that we deposit that we want immediate access to it is called non-sticky money. It's money that does not stick, right? Great. Now, if you're a credit investor and you walk into your bank, whoever you bank with, I don't care. When you, instead of turning right and going to retail banking, you turn left. You turn left. You don't turn right to go to retail banking, you turn left. You bypass wholesale banking, you bypass capital markets, all the divisions of a bank. Bypass wholesale, capital market, insurance. If your bank has an insurance division, you bypass that. And you go to a different division called private banking. Private banking. In an area called private banking, you and I do not deposit $10,000. We're depositing $10 million, $10 trillion, $1 billion, $50 million, $500 million. When you go to the private banking division, you are not depositing $10,000, you're depositing $10 million, $50 million, $500 million. Now, I want you to imagine I'm your banker in the private banking division. I'm also banking in retail banking division. When you come to the retail door and you give me $10,000 and you demand immediate access to it, you are giving me something called non-sticky money. The money does not stick. How do I make money on 10 grand that you don't, but you want immediate access to it? How do I, as a banker, make money on your $10,000 but you want immediate access to it? How? Right? I have to guess what portion of that money you're not going to be able to use or you're not going to use. 2 grand, 2,500, whatever it is. And that portion, I need to syndicate with a bunch of people looking for a loan where they have some kind of collateral and I have to charge an interest rate on it. That's pretty much most people understand retail banking and how banks make money. But when you go to a private banking division and depositing $50 million, I know you don't need immediate access to 50, unless you buy a company. Generally speaking, you don't need immediate access to that money. On $50 million, $500 million, $100 million, I know you don't need immediate access to that money. In the private banking division, you are giving me something called sticky money. The money sticks. The money sticks. Do you know how much money I can make on private banking when you deposit $100 million and the sticky money and you don't need the money back versus retail banking? My friends, I can make a lot of money. Please, 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 please do not trust anything I say in this video or any of my other videos. Always fact check for yourself. Fact check for yourself. So when somebody deposits us $100 million as example, $10 million as example, in fractional banking, look up, research, learn the term fractional banking. Banks can take up the 10 million, 100 million, go to a central bank and get a line of credit from the central bank at a minimum of 10 times multiplier. So the $10 million deposit you made, I go to the central bank and I get a $100 million line of credit from the central bank. It's called fractional banking. Look it up, learn it. I promise you it will create a lot of financial freedom if you learn it and don't trust people on YouTube who say nonsense, or some joker broker who tells you they're going to get you a non-recourse loan and you don't ever have to pay back because you gave them $5. I promise you some portion of that joker broker's nonsense is true if you do it correctly and if you are the right type of client. If you're a client that is not a credit investor and you have 10 million, 50 million, $500 million, Chance of you getting a non-recourse loan from a legitimate bank is 0. That's true. So, on the 10 million, 100 million, the bank goes to the central bank, gets a line of credit on 10,000 multiplier. If I'm your banker, and you gave me $50 million and you don't need it immediately, and I have it for some period of time, I can use that $50 million and go get a $500 million line of credit. Do you know how much money I can make on $500 million? A lot of money compared to the guy who just deposited 10 grand and wants immediate access. So if the first nonsensical question, which is almost legit, how come my bank is not offering this? Maybe it's because you're in the retail division and not private banking division. Maybe you're depositing $10,000 and not $100 million, not $50 million. Maybe, I don't know. See, the bank, when you go to each division of the bank, wholesale banking, capital markets, private banking, retail division, I don't care. Each one of these divisions are there to make money. They make money. And you know how they make money? They give different forms of loan. A wholesale bank will take money and will sell to another bank. Like banks have different ways of making money. There's one reason, and clients say, well, why have not heard of a non-recourse loan? Maybe you're working with retail division and all you know is retail division, and you never picked the 1-800 private division of whoever you bank with. That could be one version. I could come up with 50 different versions. Now, I want you to imagine human beings are driven by greed. I want you to imagine, independent of our religion, country of origin, language you speak, whether you're Chinese, Mongolian, African, UK, America, South America, I don't care where you are, which religion you subscribe to, human beings are driven by greed. I want you to imagine that same is actually true. If you're the CEO of a bank, do you want people to come and deposit $10,000 and then they want immediate access? Or do you want people that come in with 100 million, 500 million, 1 billion, and they give you sticky money? If you are a bank CEO and you're thinking about your numbers and you're thinking about your profitability, and you're thinking about your pocketbook, you need to give incentives to people who are coming with 100 million, 50 million, 10 million, 500 million and make deposits. Maybe one of those incentives is you give them non-recourse loans. Remember, the legitimate correct word is limited recourse loan, but there's enough joker brokers out there that they use the word non-recourse loans. I'm sick and tired of trying to correct them. Don't go to a bank and say you want a non-recourse loan. Please just don't do that. If you watched my videos, so subscribe to my YouTube channel, purchase any of my books. Limited recourse loan is the same thing as a non-recourse loan. So the way you approach your bank, the private banking division or commercial banking division like that, you demonstrate you are a credit investor. You deposit 50 million, 100 million, 10 million, whatever amount of money it is. And you tell your bank, can you please leverage my cash, my assets to give me and here comes the other part. You need to have a project that requires financing. So here's my KYC, here's my 10 million, 50 million, 100 million, 500 million. I do not need immediate access. I'm going to allow you, the Mr. Banker, leverage my money for 6 months, for 1 year, for 3 years, for 5 years. But because you're leveraging my money, I want a limited recourse loan that provides the funding I need for my project. Why? Because banks are out there to do project funding. That's their purpose, and that's how you pitch it to a bank. If you walk into a bank and they don't offer these solutions, by the way, I just gave you 3 things you need to have. The reality is you need to have 7 different things to go to a legitimate bank and get a non-recourse loan. When I offer my content for free on YouTube, I'm not going to give you all those 7 things for free. Obviously, I'm going to give you 3 of the 7 things that you need to have. If you want to know the other 4, I highly recommend coming to our offshore events where you meet the bank CEOs. Not Joe, my brother, or Samantha, my sister. You actually meet bank CEOs or law firms or family offices that we do this kind of work with. When you meet them and says this nonsense Taimour saying, or whatever this joker broker gave me this document, is that real? You get to actually learn it and see it for yourself. Failure to do that, I highly recommend. Buy some of my books on structured finance, demystify so you learn how this works. private bank licenses, work standbys credit, turning paper into profit. I've written a bunch of books that I think you should subscribe to that will benefit and leverage it. So next time you're looking for 20 million, 45 million, 75 million, some nonsense like that, I shouldn't say nonsense, but you're looking for funds like that, alternative funding industry is a great industry. I love that industry. I've helped clients make money from that industry. I myself obviously have collected fees from delivering funding to clients, so I love this industry. It does have a lot of fraud in it, so you should have a protocol in how to remove the fraud or look for legitimate players. You need to be a creative investor. You need to have money that's ready, willing to go. The 10 million, the 50 million, 100 million that a bank can leverage. The particular ways to talk to a bank to structure so that your capital is secured, so that the bank gets a line of credit from the deposit you make. The bank is taking the risk. They get the loan, line of credit, and you want to structure for yourself something called limited recourse loan. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, and if there's any way that my team can be helpful to you, please book a consultation call on our website. Do not contact us on our Facebook or LinkedIn or these things. We do not communicate on social media. At no point do we go on things like WhatsApp and solicit anything to you. I hope you found this helpful. My name is Taimour Zaman. If it can be helpful to you, feel free to reach out. Thank you. So Paulina, you're now a client of our firm around the area of standby letters of credit. You seem to be the iconic Paulina. Why did you hire our firm versus any other option you have?
I really appreciate your education, and the media regarding monetization, regarding project funding, because in the industry there is no such an education, and you're just doing an amazing job in that. There's so many businesses that do project funding and you don't know what you're doing, you don't know how to, fund them, and all this terminology, all this industry is just so, just not educated, It's literally not educated. I mean, it's so hidden that those who educate is just in LinkedIn talking, nonsense. As you said, Taimour, your words, not my word, joker brokers.
Why have you hired our firm today? What am I doing there?
Yeah, so we manage different projects. And we are looking for monetization of bank instruments.
And you're looking for somebody you can trust to get that done?
Yes, 100%. 100%.
Awesome.
We are looking for somebody we can trust.
Awesome.
And just by the way you explaining everything in the educational videos, I think the reason why people are stuck in business is because there is no education. It's not that much about business education than money education and raising fund education, and monetization of bank instruments and having the right, the right platforms, the right strategy, and so on and on. I love everything that you do about, I don't even know from where to start.
Would you like to know about our next event?
Why would you attend Allfunds Global's banking events?
Unlock exclusive financing secrets with top bank CEOs and family offices. Build powerful connections, secure loans beyond retail banks, and fund your legacy. Join financial leaders at Allfunds Global offshore events.
Allfunds Global really showed us real-life examples which are not only innovative and very disruptive, but use cases in the real world. Actually, deals are being made here, which are absolutely amazing, and it just really shows that the guys are absolutely professional.
You'd have a unique opportunity to meet real banking executives and professional law firms that are doing various forms of structured finance. You'll also get access to ideas and programs banks only offer their elite.
Hi friends, I now want to take a minute and answer some of your frequently asked questions. One of the common questions I get a lot is, Taimour, we've learned a lot from you through your YouTube channel. How do we learn more? Can we fly down and meet your team? And the answer to all of that is yes, yes, and yes. But if you want to learn more, my first invitation is to become a member of Allfunds Global. You simply go to our website, allfundsglobal.com. You sign up to become a member for free. You get access to webinars, offshore events that we do, and content that we never, ever, ever, ever publish on YouTube. I promise you that it's worth becoming a member for sure. The second way that you can learn a lot is I'm a published author. Structured Financing Demystified, Hypergrowth, just multiple books on Amazon that you can get access to. I highly recommend going and checking out some of these books, getting engaged into some of the stuff, that strategies and tactics that we're using for ourselves, for our families, for our friends. You definitely want to check these things out for sure. Another question, I guess, Taimour, why are you so passionate about getting a bank license? Why is that so important? Well, the truth is, our mission within Allfunds Global is to help businesses become self-funded for life. Imagine you run a coffee shop and I run a coffee shop. Imagine we buy the coffee beans from the same grower and my coffee shop is right across yours, like really right across yours. Our competition is probably nil. But if you have a bank license and I don't have a bank license, and let's say I made $500,000 and you made $500,000 in income, but if you have a bank license, you are depositing a bank license with the central bank of the country where you own your own private bank license. Let me repeat this again. You are depositing your money with the central bank of the country you have your bank license on. So $500,000 deposited with the central bank should give you a line of credit of 10 times multiple. So that means you get a line of credit of $5 million. Now it's not free money, it's a line of credit of $5 million. Now, if you draw that entire money out and you go to whichever country you're currently resonating in, the country you're doing business with, and you know in real estate, you want to buy a house, you put 20% down and you get a loan for 80%, same thing. You put $5 million down with a business plan to your local bank, whoever your bank with, and say, hey, I want to grow my business, my technology business, real estate business, pharmaceutical business, whatever business it is. I'm a venture capitalist. I'm putting $5 million down. Your bank gives you a loan at four times more, so now you get a $20 million loan. Now it's not free money, it's $20 million loan. What can you afford to do with $20 million that I cannot afford to do with $500,000? Could you invest in artificial intelligence? Could you invest in hiring better people? Could you invest in advertising? Hell, with that amount of money, could you even buy auxiliary businesses or invest in auxiliary businesses? I say you can, and that's why we within Allfunds Global are so passionate helping clients become self-funded for life, and getting a private bank license is one of the vehicles that I am personally very passionate about helping clients on. Another question, I guess, Taimour, you charge a consultation fee. Allfunds Global, the team charges a consultation fee. Why do you charge a consultation fee when you guys can make so much money on the back end? It somehow inhibits those me now from taking a credit card and paying you money for it. Well, here's the truth. We offer our content, millions and millions of dollars worth of content complete for free on YouTube. We don't advertise as of the date of doing this video. We don't advertise on YouTube, Google, or we don't do any kind of advertising at all. And what we find is the volume of traffic that goes into YouTube attracts people that are tire kickers, people that are fraudsters, people that have mental health issues. When we charge a small consultation fee, this deters the hacker, the fraudster, the person who's shopping around, the tire kicker. It eliminates all that and allows me and my team to be on calls or meetings with customers we actually want to do business with. What a concept. Now comes, this is better. At the time of doing a transaction with a client, that fee they pay for a consultation call, we refund it. At the conclusion of us doing a transaction with a client, we refund 100% of all the monies that they paid on consultation fees. This allows us to work with people that are committed to working with us, are serious about working with us, are not tire kickers, are not people that are like, they don't know what banking 101 is, and they're there to waste our time and energy. Just eliminates that. And me and my team are very proud of doing that. Next question I get is, Taimour, the alternative funding industry overall has a lot of fraudsters in it, has a lot of deep fake in it. What are you doing to protect us, protect yourself? So here's the answer to that. Any industry that has a lot of money by default attracts a lot of fraud. Let me say this again. Any industry that attracts a lot of money by default attracts a lot of fraud. I don't know who you bank with. If you bank with one of the top 20 banks in the world, pick a bank you bank with, or you use payment processing companies like PayPal, these companies see a lot of fraud every day, from fraudsters mimicking their website to mimicking their email addresses, and in cases like mine, once a year or twice a year, some idiot, excuse my language, decides to copy my picture on social media, tries to create a fake profile of me, and goes on social media selling scammy transactions. Now, we have the technology and the resources to catch that, usually within 72 hours of that happening, and then cause legal action against that fraudster. We have the financial resources, thank God, to do that today, but that's just the nature of this industry. So what we do to protect ourselves is we never solicit on social media anything, nor do we solicit in general. We offer a lot of educational materials, but we don't solicit. You'll never see me or any of my associates on any social media trying to sell anything, ever. Second, all transactions that we do, money always has to go through a reputable law firm. All transactions we do, money always has to go to a reputable law firm. We never ask the client to send us money or anything like that. Now, I do want to take a minute and talk a little bit about my competitors. In the United States, in the US alone, US has 3% of the world's population, and they have over 60% of the world's lawyers. In the United States, that's a fact, have 3% of the world's population and over 60% of the world's lawyers. I have a lot of legitimate competitors in the United States and around the world that unfortunately have been sued for wrongful things that other people have done. There's a lot of negative stuff on social media or websites about some of my legitimate competitors. And I want to tell you that a lot of my competitors are legitimate. They're hardworking people. I know them. They deliver real results. And unfortunately, they have negative comments or fraud or even lawsuits against them. The reason within Allfunds Global doesn't have a lawsuit against it, or me, Taimour Zaman, don't have a lawsuit against me, or people on social media saying that we're fraudsters or something like that, is simply because of my lack of vision. Every company you deal with, every major company you deal with, whether it's the cars you drive, Ford, Lexus, I don't know, GM, or Facebook, Google, YouTube, whatever you use, or medicine you have, like Tylenol, all of these companies have lawsuits against them. A lot of the companies you work with have litigations against them as just part of the growth. At some point, the business needs to grow exponentially, and that's when you have to see lawsuits as just the nature of the business growing. The fact that we don't have it is because of my lack of vision as the CEO and like trying to bark a tree like that. Now, I see that changing as we buy businesses that have other CEOs, as we grow, we have over 800 registered brokers with us. As that number grows, it's not normal for our business to continue growing without some idiot calling us fraudster, some idiot trying to sue us, or something like that. If you want to take advantage of the alternative funding industry, I'm going to tell you this is the industry I love. I'm going to tell you this is the industry that I've made a lot of money with. I'm going to tell you this is the industry I've helped a lot of clients make a lot of money with, friends and family make a lot of money with. And if this is an industry you want to get involved in, I recommend meeting the people you want to do business with, like physically flying out to meeting them. If you can afford to hire an investigator, we use a lot of former FBI, former CIA people. These are people you can hire to do background checks. It's not only do these people have lawsuits or not, or other losers calling them fraudsters or not. I'm telling you, a lot of my competitors are really good people, and they're not fraudsters. So do your own due diligence, listen to your intuition. We're really interested in working with some really good people that are vision-driven entrepreneurs that really want to serve the world And I think we have some things that are really amazing to offer. Another question I get is, Taimour, we love all the services of Allfunds Global. What are the top 3 services you offer that we should really seriously think about, call you or your organization and get you guys involved? But my favorite service, the one that makes a lot of sense, is the trusted advisory service. This is when we become your chief banking officer. We work with your CFO, your legal team, the CEO, the COO. We look at where your organization is, where you want it to be. We look at banking programs that make sense for your type of business, that are proven and would work to generate access to alternative revenue sources for your business that makes sense. From that, we then create offshore tax structures, offshore bank accounts, offshore bank licenses for your organization, so the revenue that gets generated has a channel to go to that is well protected. We have a lot of domain expertise that I do not share ever on YouTube. It's not like a lawyer who's like, go create a trust account and cooks out in. Like we don't do. We do some very sophisticated stuff that I'm very proud of. That's our intellectual property. And so the trusted advisory services, where we become a trusted advisor, is one of the things that I would recommend everybody to look at. It's a monthly retainer, you pay for it, but let me tell you, for every penny you put in, that you get tens of dollars out of it. And I think you're not going to get this amount of expertise dedicated to your business. So that's something I would recommend you to think about and sign up for. Second one is, if you're looking for access to capital, we have a lot of unique programs like Rent a Rich Uncle that we can support your organization as long as your organization is a successful business and not a startup, not somebody who's going bankrupt. It's a successful business that has real cash, real assets, and is generating something real, that's real growth. I think we have some avenues for accessing capital that others simply cannot offer. And the final one that I love is we have a lot of asset management structures that are very unique to our intellectual property that I love to share with you. If you have assets, you want to grow, you want to get bank license, you want to set up a trust, you want to work with multiple central banks, do some really cool stuff. I think I'm the only weirdest person that has real expertise and experience in doing this stuff. And so my name is Taimour Zaman from Allfunds Global. Thank you for following us up on YouTube. If you're doing that, thank you for trusting me. Thank you for trusting my team. And on behalf of my team, I just really want to say thank you. And we look forward to the opportunity of serving you.